Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Marvellous Maths. Thank you so much to everyone that joined Miss Quimby for episode 1. I hope you enjoyed your lesson on addition. Before I get started on anything in this video, I will address the pink hair. I just wanted a way to brighten up this very strange time that we're all going through, and what better way to do that than to dye my hair a bright colour, and my class will know that pink is my favourite colour. So enjoy the candy floss hair while it lasts. Don't worry, Miss Rooney, it's not lasting forever. It will go back to normal when everything goes back to normal and we're all back at school. But for now, just enjoy the pinkness. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at symmetry, which we can often refer to as being a mirror image. So we're going to be looking at lines of symmetry in 2D shapes, in flags of the world, and then you're going to be helping me to find some symmetrical objects in my house. And then I'm going to challenge you with the task of finding some symmetrical objects in your houses. Before we get started on our lesson on symmetry, we need to warm up our maths brains, switch them on, get them going, and we're going to do that by answering our 5-a-day questions. So we're going to answer 5 arithmetic questions to switch on our maths brains and get ourselves ready for the lesson. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video after I've said each question to give yourself some time to answer it, and then just press play again and we'll go through how to answer each question. Question 1 is 5 add 7. So pause the video here to give yourself some time to answer 5 add 7. Okay, get ready to go through the answer. So 5 add 7 equals 12. Now the way that we do this is we put the first number in our head, try and think back to Miss Quimby's lesson on addition. We put the starting number in our heads and the second number, our counting number, on our fingers. So I'll show you. So let's all put the starting number, which is 5, in our heads. Put 7 on your fingers and we're going to count forwards together from 5. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we land on 12, so that means the answer is 12. Question 2. Slightly trickier this time. We've got 3 numbers to add together. We've got 13, add 3, add 3. So pause the video here to give yourself some time to answer. Okay, get ready. I'm going to go through the answer now. So 13, add 3 equals 19. So the same method as before, we put the first number in our heads, which this time is 13. So pop 13 in your head. Then we put the second number, just focusing on one number for now. We put that on our fingers. So we're going to do 13, add 3. So get ready to count on 3 from 13 with me. Ready? 13, 14, 15, 16. Now keep 16 in your head. We've still got another 3 to add on. So keep 16 in your head, put another 3 back on your fingers, and count on this time 3 from 16. Ready? 16, 17, 18, 19, and that gets us to 19. Okay, question 3, we've got a subtraction question now. So we've got 23 take away 6. Remember, pause the video to give yourself some time to answer it. Okay, get ready to go through the answer now. 23 take away 6 equals 17. Now, same method as before. We put the first number, which is 23, in our head. So put 23 in your head. And the second number, which is 6, on our fingers. So get your 6 fingers ready. And this time we're going to count backwards because we are taking away. Okay, so we're going to count backwards from 23. I'm going to count backwards 6. So get ready to count back from 23. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. And we get 17. Well done. Okay, next question. Slightly trickier now. We've got two bigger numbers here. 20 add 30. What is 20 add 30? Okay, I'll go through the answer now. 20 add 30 equals 50. Now, my year twos will be very familiar with this. We haven't labelled the columns here, our 10s and our 1s, and that's because we've got two multiples of 10, 20 and 30 are both in the 10 times tables. So it's much easier for us to count in our 10s than count in our 1s, because it would take us a long time to count up to 30 1s on our fingers. So we're going to count in our 10s instead. So just looking at our 10s column in the number 30, how many 10s are there in 30? That's right, there are 3 10s in 30. So we're going to count on 3 10s on our fingers. So we just need to put 3 on our fingers. Okay, don't forget to put the first number, which is 20, in your head. And we're going to count on in 10s from 20. Get ready? So 20, 30, 40, 50. And it gets us to 50. Well done. Okay, the last question is half of 6. What is half of 6? This might be a little bit of a challenge for some of you year 1s, but year 2s, we're familiar with this now. Okay, so the answer to that one is 3. Half of 6 equals 3. Now there are two ways that we can do this. The first one is by using the Ladybug method. Now hopefully both year 1 and year 2 will be familiar with this. So to do this, we need to look closely at our fraction, and we need to look at the bottom number of our fraction, because we know that when we are finding a fraction, we are dividing. Okay, and we've got to look at the bottom number to know what we are dividing by. And in this case, the bottom number in the fraction half is 2. So I've divided my ladybird into 2 sections, because that's what we're dividing by. That's what we are sharing between. Okay, then I need to look at my second number, which is 6. And this is the number that I'm going to be sharing between my 2 parts, my 2 sections. Okay, so to do this, we need to put our dots into our ladybird. Okay, so get ready to count to 6 with me while we share between the 2 sides. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then all I need to do is count up the amount of dots just in one section, and you'll see there are 1, 2, 3 dots. So that gives us our answer of 3. Okay, another way that we can do this, and it's the way that us year 2s have been using a lot more because it's nice and quick, and we've started to build up our knowledge of our times tables, and it's by using our times tables. Now because we are dividing by 2, 2 is our bottom number of our fraction, we're going to count in our 2 times tables until we reach the number 6. Okay, so you're going to need your fingers for this. We're going to count up in our 2s and stop when we get to 6. So get ready, with your fingers you're going to count in your 2s with me. Ready? 2, 4, 6. And you'll see that I've got 3 on my fingers. So that gives us our answer of 3. Well done everyone for completing your 5-a-day questions. We're now going to get started on our main lesson. And before we look at symmetry itself, we just need to have a little warm-up and a recap of our 2D and some of our 3D shapes, because symmetry is all about shape. So, can you tell me what 2D shape is hiding underneath my magnifying glass here? I'll give you a few seconds to tell your grown-up what shape you think it is, and then I will reveal. Okay. I'm going to reveal it now. It was, of course, a circle. The giveaway with that was the curved edge, curved side, and we know that a circle has got one continuous curved side. So well done. Okay, what 2D shape is hiding now? Have a look at what you think it might be. Tell your grown up now. Okay, it was, of course, a triangle. We know that a triangle has got 1, 2, 3 sides. So well done. Okay, slightly trickier one now. What 2D shape is hiding here? Think about how many sides this shape might have. Tell your grown up what do you think it might be. Okay. I'm going to reveal that it was a pentagon. So well done if you got that one. A little bit trickier, that one. And remember that a pentagon has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, because we know that pent means 5. So well done if you got that one. Okay, moving on to our 3D shapes now. Can you name this 3D shape? I'm going to give you a few seconds. Tell your grown up, what is it? 3, 2, 1. Yes, it was a cube. Well done. Kind of like a 3D square. Super. Next one. What is the name of this 3D shape? Tell your grown up now. 3, 2, 1. Well done. It is a sphere. What is the name of this 3D shape? Tell your grown up. Give you a few seconds. What do you think it is? 3, 2, 1. It is a cone. Well done. Kind of like an upside down ice cream cone. Okay, what is the name of this 3D shape? It's a bit of a squashed version of this 3D shape. What do you think it might be? Tell your grown up. 3, 2, 1. It was a cylinder. Bit of a squashed down cylinder, but a cylinder all the same. So well done if you got that one. Okay, our final one is a bit trickier. It's see-through for a reason so that you can see the bottom of it. That might give you a clue as to what it's called. So tell your grown up now what you think the name of this 3D shape is. Okay, well done if you identified that it is a square-based pyramid. And the big clue with this one was the base of it, the bottom of it, because it is a square shape. So we know that it's a square-based pyramid. Okay, our main question of the day then, what is symmetry? I'm going to give you a few seconds to tell your grown up what you think symmetry might be, and then I'm going to give you 3 options and you need to choose which one you think is correct. So I'll give you those 3 options now. So is it A, a line that divides a shape into quarters? B, a line drawn through a shape so that both sides look the same? Or is it C, a line that outlines the edges of a shape? I'll give you a few seconds now to tell your grown up what you think it is. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it was of course B, a line drawn through a shape so that both sides look the same. So now that we know that, we're going to have a look at some 2D shapes and see if we can identify where the lines of symmetry might be. Okay, so first shape we've got is a square. Have a good look at that square and tell your grown up where you think the lines of symmetry might be. So you're going to need to point at your screen and point out where you think it's got lines of symmetry, remembering that when you draw a line through the shape, it's got to look exactly the same on both sides. So I'll give you a few more seconds, pause the video if you need to. Okay, let's go through it. So these were the lines of symmetry that I found. Okay, so hopefully you got all of these. Well done if you did. So the first line of symmetry is the most obvious one. It's the line all the way down the middle from top to bottom, and you'll see that either side of that line, the square, is exactly the same. Okay, same for the one going across the middle from left to right. the top and the bottom halves are exactly the same. And then if you sort of tilt your head and have a look at both of the diagonal lines of symmetry, you'll see that either side of those, the shape is exactly the same. So they are both an exact triangle shape. Okay, well done. Next shape. Okay, our next shape is this house shape. Can you identify any lines of symmetry in this shape? Tell your grown up what you think. Is this a symmetrical shape? Okay, get ready to go through the answer or pause the video here if you're not quite ready. So, this shape is actually not symmetrical. Okay, it hasn't got any lines of symmetry. So I've drawn a couple of lines of symmetry just to show you that it's not symmetrical. The first one I drew was going from top to bottom here, and you'll see that either side of that line, the shape does not look the same because we've got a chimney on this side and we don't have one on that side. So that's not a line of symmetry. Same for the one going from left to right. You'll see that the top half and the bottom half of the house look completely different. So it's not a symmetrical shape. Okay, our next shape is this heart. Can you identify any lines of symmetry in this heart? Tell your grown up now. Okay, get ready to go through it. So this shape has one line of symmetry all the way down the middle there, and you'll see that on either side of our line of symmetry, the shape looks exactly the same on both sides. So well done. Okay, our last shape, this speech bubble shape. Can you identify any lines of symmetry in this shape? Tell your grown up now, what do you think? Is it symmetrical? So this shape actually has no lines of symmetry. It's not a symmetrical shape. So well done if you identified that it was not symmetrical. Because if we draw an imaginary line of symmetry all the way down the middle there, neither side are exactly the same because we've got this shape at the bottom here that isn't mirrored on the other side. If it was, it would be symmetrical. Same for if we drew an imaginary line of symmetry across the middle from left to right. The top half and the bottom half are not the same. So now we're going to be having a look at some flags of the world and identifying which flags are symmetrical and which aren't. And there's also going to be an opportunity to earn a bonus point if you can tell your grown-up what country the flag comes from. Our first flag is this one. Have a good look at it. See if you can identify where the lines of symmetry might be. Point them out to your grown-up now. And don't forget to tell them what country the flag comes from. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, let's go through it. So these are the lines of symmetry that you should have found. So we've got one going from top to bottom through the middle there. And you'll see that the pattern on either side of that line is exactly the same. And one going from the left to right across the middle there. And the pattern on the top half and the bottom half are exactly the same. They are mirrored. Okay, and well done if you also identified that it was the flag of England. Okay, our next flag. Have a good look at this one. Tell your grown-up what lines of symmetry you can see. And don't forget to tell them what country this flag is from. So this flag has only got one line of symmetry. It's going from left to right across the middle. And you'll see that the top and the bottom halves are mirrored. They are exactly the same. And well done if you identified that this was the flag of France. Our next flag. Have a good look at this one and tell your grown-up if you think this flag is symmetrical. And remember to tell them what country this flag is from. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, So, well done if you identified that this is not a symmetrical flag. There are no lines of symmetry because we've got a picture of a dragon in the middle. If we drew our imaginary line of symmetry down the middle, the dragon does not look the same on either side. Okay, and the same for if we drew an imaginary line across the middle from left to right, the dragon does not look the same, and it's also got different colours on either side, so that's not symmetrical. Okay, our next flag, have a good look at this one and tell your grown up where you think any lines of symmetry might be for this one. And remember to tell them what country this one's from. Okay, let's have a look. So this has got one line of symmetry going down the middle from top to bottom. You'll see we've got the same pattern of black, red and yellow. On the other side, black, red and yellow, so it looks exactly the same. And well done if you spotted that this was the flag of Germany. Okay, get ready for our last flag. Okay, you'll probably immediately be able to identify where this flag's from. But is it symmetrical? Tell your grown up what you think. Okay, so well done if you identified that it was the flag of America, and it's also not a symmetrical flag. Okay, because we've got the pictures of the stars over in this corner, and we've only got that once on that flag. Okay, it's not mirrored on the other side, and it's not mirrored on the bottom, so it can't be symmetrical. So now it's time for you guys to help me to identify some lines of symmetry around my house. So let's explore. Okay, so the first thing I found is this door, and I think this door might be symmetrical, but I need your help. Have a good look at it from top to bottom. Do you think that this is symmetrical? I feel like it might be, but have a look at the door handle. Okay, I think you might be right if you're saying that it's not symmetrical. Okay, the pattern on the door frame is symmetrical, but because we've got a door handle just on one side of the door, it can't be symmetrical. If it was symmetrical, we'd have a door handle mirrored on the other side here, but there isn't one. Okay, so I think this door actually isn't symmetrical. So well done if you identified that. Okay, I think I might be getting a bit better at this symmetry hunting, and I found this light switch that I think might be symmetrical. Have a good look at it for me. What do you think? Is it symmetrical? And where are the lines of symmetry? Okay, I can see one going down the middle in the centre here, because we've got two switches and they are identical. So if we put a mirror down the middle here, the switches look identical to each other. And we've also got two screws on either side, so they're mirrored. And you can see it's a square shape, and we know from our work before that a square is a symmetrical shape. I think there might be also another line of symmetry going along from left to right, because the top is sort of mirrored in the bottom half. So I think we've got 1, 2 lines of symmetry in that light switch. Okay, the next item I've come across is this food mat. This is actually the mat that we put our cat's food on. And I think because of the shape of it, it might be a symmetrical object. But you have a look. What do you think? Do you agree? Is it symmetrical? So I'm having a closer look at this object, and I think I'm looking at the words on it. And because it's got words on it, I'm thinking it might not be symmetrical, because you'll see if I drew my imaginary line of symmetry down the middle of this word here, the letters on this side are different to the letters on this side. So they're not mirrored, they're not the same. So I think we can say that this object is not symmetrical. Okay, I have now found this chopping board, this wooden chopping board in my kitchen. Do you think that this is symmetrical? Have a really good look at it. I think perhaps there is not a line of symmetry going down the middle from top to bottom, because we've only got a handle on one side. And if it was symmetrical, we'd have that handle mirrored on the other side. But maybe there might be one going across from the left to the right. But I'm looking closely at the sort of pattern in the wood, and the pattern looks different on this side. We've got quite a wide pattern here, wide lines, but we've got really narrow ones on this side. So the pattern isn't mirrored in that imaginary line of symmetry. So I think actually it's another non-symmetrical object. Okay, I think I might be having a little bit more luck in finding symmetrical objects with this cushion. Have a look at it for me. What do you think? Do you think I have found a symmetrical item? Now I know when we're looking for lines of symmetry, we can only really see them in 2D objects, 2D shapes. And I know this cushion is 3D, but if you look at the pattern on the surface of it, the 2D pattern on the surface, I think that might be a symmetrical pattern. So I can definitely see one going along the middle here from top to bottom. And I think actually the pattern itself has drawn a line of symmetry for us. This thick white line is kind of acting like a line of symmetry already. Because if we look at the pattern on this side, it looks exactly the same as the pattern on this side. So I think we have definitely got one line of symmetry going down the middle there. Let's have a look at perhaps a line of symmetry going across from the left to the right. And I think you're right if you're saying that there is also a line of symmetry going across there, because the top half is mirrored in the bottom half. They look exactly the same. So I think in our cushion we've got 1, 2 lines of symmetry. So I found another symmetrical object. Thank you all so much for your help on my symmetry hunt. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. So I now challenge you to go on a symmetry hunt around your houses and see if you can find any symmetrical shapes around your house. And perhaps you could get your grown-up to take a picture of any symmetrical items that you find and put them on Twitter, and you can tag us, Ladybug Academy, and perhaps you could also use the hashtag Marvellous Maths so that me and Miss Quimby can see what you found on your symmetry hunts. So thank you once again everyone for joining me for today's lesson on symmetry. Miss Quimby will be with you again on Friday for episode 3 of Marvellous Maths. Keep working hard, stay safe, and we'll see you very soon. Bye everyone.